Welcome back everyone, Zeke here for the penultimate episode in this Let's Play series of For Honor. We are now in Chapter 3, the Samurais, doing missions 3.3 and 3-4. Hopefully you enjoy, and of course if you do, please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe. So jumping straight in now. Okay, so this is through all the death and destruction that we did in the previous episodes in the Maya, killing all the previous Daimyos, playing as Ayu, a samurai Orochi. There's a bit of a commotion there, and of course our Orochi that we're playing as, that was released in the first episode in this walkthrough of the Samurai's campaign in For Honor. He was jailed for several years for talking out of turn in the kingdom, and of course we've come into it now with the Vikings invading, and of course the samurai factions being a little bit segregated due to Apollyon pretty much creating war amongst the clans and having us fight ourselves. So you see, we started straight out there, got one of the breakables and one of the observables pretty much right next to each other there, and of course our main objective there is to reach Ayu. So this is quite intriguing. Of course the Orochi there has the dynamic guards. We are going to learn about the Storm Rush. This is a nice easy attack that they can use. Normally can only be dodged by enemies that are actually paying specific attention to it. Most of the time you can just get in and get a cheeky 1 or 2 hit combo on enemies and take down their health quite nicely. And of course, as we said, we do have the Vikings in here as well, so it's going to be a mixture of Vikings and Samurais that we are going to be fighting. So it's absolutely wonderful. Tried to dodge out the way of that one and clearly didn't get that one. Very nicely timed. Of course, we've got to be creating his guard and blocking it as best we can. Oh, tried to do the Storm Rush there, but unfortunately was taken down, and we've got to leave for that lovely execution of chopping the Viking's head off. Maybe I might stick it on a pike or steal his horned helmet. You never know. So as we come up this area, we've got another one of the breakables then on the right hand side, and of course don't forget to pick up the breakables. That is 3 of 5 in just this little short section of the map. Enemies are going to be around sort of all areas of the map, so make sure that you're not taking your eyes off it that much, and deal with any smaller enemies as quickly and as effectively as you can. Before you walk through, make sure you get the observable that we just got there. And of course, once you come through this gate, a checkpoint will pop up for you, and now you just have to kill the Vikings pretty much as we can. Make sure that you are investigating both stairs as well, because there is going to be a breakable. With this, that is going to give us 4 of 5 quite easily. Of course, an observable if you look out towards the water there. I think I just missed it. It's always best if you take one of the high roads as well, because you can always chuck any of the enemies off. As you can see, there is a little bit of a gap on the fencing just on our left hand side there, and I'm going to try my hardest, if this guy can stop hitting me for once, to chuck him off. So lucky he dashed back, so I'm just going to try and hit him a couple of times, get him to step back. Wow, did not see that attack coming in. And of course he's using that really annoying zone attack to hurt me. I'm going to finish that off with an execution, get some of that missed health back, because clearly our revenge mode isn't going to last that long. Make sure that we are picking up the fire arrows and just loosening that off to the Valkyrie who decided to come up and start attacking us. I don't overly worry about the smaller enemies. As we said in previous episodes, they're just quickly harassing you for health. They're not going to pose too much of a risk, especially on normal difficulty that we're playing it on. We are going to finish them off with the other executions. That was quite a nice flourish. Sort of both elbowed them in the face and took their head off. Got to admit, the Japanese sort of samurai do have a tendency in this particular game to lop everyone's head off if they can help it. Don't know why, but clearly can't go wrong. With that being said, got to have another head. Heads will roll in this episode, of course. and they're all showing their subservience to us, and Ayu as sort of the de facto Daimyo.
That was stopping a civil war.
Guess the Emperor was wrong about you.
That doesn't sound too good, does it?
Our neighbors are persistent.
That they are.
Secure the dock. We'll meet you there.
Of course, I do have to say that is one thing that I really enjoy about this game so far, is how each of the campaign chapters, obviously you start off with the knights, then you progress to the Vikings and the samurais. They do feel unique and fresh in each approach. Every character does things slightly different, be that attack speed, attack power, or even when it comes down so simply to their moveset. This is a very intriguing, very nice campaign, albeit quite short. You get 6 missions in each campaign. And say we are actually in the 3rd mission, so just at our halfway point in this campaign walkthrough of the samurais. And of course, we will have one more episode after this, released on Friday of this week, covering the last 2 episodes, so hopefully you can stay tuned and join us for that. Of course, if you do have any feedback about this Let's Play series, this campaign walkthrough, then I would absolutely love to hear it. Please don't hesitate to leave it in the comments section below, or send it to me via a private message if you so wish. Of course, if you are on the Freedom Community forums, feel free to send me a message on there as well. Or just pop in for a quick chat. So, we're making our way through these Vikings who've decided to attack at the dock, or come in at the dock and attack us, should I say. Just make sure they can't escape with their heads. And of course, our AI companion then being a bit silly and just attacking us in the back and doing a really good job of hurting me more than the actual enemies are. As you see, it is all about matching guards and corresponding with counterattacks as much as possible. The boss fights are pretty much the only stages in this game that you'll face particular challenges, but of course getting through that objective quite quickly. And don't I just wish I had a bow and arrow right about now. I would so loose off a couple of shots to him if I could.
I hate Vikings.
Archers!
Delay that order. We have more pressing matters.
Clearly, Ayu the Daimyo is overruling me on this particular fact, and I think that's going to be a bad leadership decision, but I know my place. He looks quite regretful there, I will admit. So there we have it, that is that mission complete, so we will be moving on very shortly to the 4th.
Brought her newly reunited army to the front door of the Emperor's palace. Now there were only 2 daimyo left, she and Seijuro. But it was that Orochi who would determine the course of history.
Okay, and I do like how all these missions take place in a timeline, which you can see in the top right hand corner then. This particular mission, 3-4, Unity, is set 8 years ago. And of course we are going to the Imperial Palace, playing again as the Orochi.
A fortress within a fortress.
It was almost like they knew we were coming. Again, clearly they don't know how to protect themselves against archers.
Put down your weapons!
Then end this, and kneel before me.
Protect the queen! No, it's not really the queen.
Seijuro wasn't
It's the
giving up,
Daimyo, but...
and he had strong warriors at his side.
Why couldn't they have just done trial by combat?
But we had numbers. We just
She's
needed
like,
a way.
look, I just escaped death. Give me a cappuccino and a croissant as quickly as possible.
I hadn't been inside the palace in 3 years.
So we are inside the Imperial Palace. It does help to know your way through the sewage systems and the hidden passages. Otherwise we would have been stuck outside in that lengthy battle. It does appear like it is just two of us, me as the Orochi, and we have another one of the Japanese samurai classes, the Naboshi, who's a sort of long-distance fighter. Of course, before we go any further, make sure that you are looking at the gate for the first observable. And I'm getting a little bit confused how we get through here. Of course, you can see an outline of an enemy, so of course, in typical Japanese fashion, they are going to have the paper-thin walls. Of course, you will fight enemies of the same class as you, so you will have to be careful of their moves. As you can see, that enemy there is using the Storm Rush to bridge the gap between us and come in really nicely for a couple of quick swipes and attacks. I'm coming dangerously low on health. Luckily, the Naboshi decided to take a couple of attacks on the enemy to stop it killing me. Let's move house to house as best as we possibly can, destroy the paper-thin walls. Not that it does any impact, but we always like destroying things as much as possible. Got an observable there at the statue head, and of course I did the most stupidest move there imaginable. I walked too close and they all managed to detect me, so this clearly isn't going to be a very good or smart thing to do, and I definitely wouldn't recommend people doing this if they can help it. You can see my health is pretty low, and I'm just fighting one guy. There is currently 20 of his friends just waiting behind me to take me down. I have a feeling I might want to get rid of this guy as quickly as possible, and of course, on the lower difficulties it does help to keep an eye on the enemy's stamina bar. Of course, this will still show on the higher difficulties. You just won't be able to see his or her guard icon. So you will really need to have to learn their attacks and have to learn which side they're attacking you from to be able to effectively counterattack and dodge. So it really does help when you do have a couple of AIs, or at least in this case one AI on your team helping out. Of course, between missions your executions and your finishes will change slightly, so it's not pretty much all of the same all of the time. As we're walking through there, make sure that we are getting the third observable there, so we are now a third of the way through those. And of course, just seeing those breakables as we were making our way down, so that is the first of 5. I'm sure we've missed quite a few already, but I'm definitely not going back past that courtyard to see if we can get any. And as I was saying about the enemies and their particular skill set, the enemy that we're currently facing is more like the tank. Very heavy attacks, can't be thrown to the ground, thrown off ledge as much, and Naboshi seems a bit stuck what to do in these short confined spaces. I could really use the bleeding attack, but never mind, can't really complain. As you see there, just one attack, taking down an awful lot of my health, but luckily with the execution getting a tiny portion, I mean an absolute tiny portion of that back. But of course with our passive and our active skill we can get that back. Got the observable then just out this bay window. That is now 4 of 9 that we're doing. We're going to continue our way up the stairs, marvelling at the scenery, and just before we drop down get an observable 5 of 9. That seems to be Dumbo, and I don't know why the Japanese have Dumbo in the courtyard, but let's see what fun we can do with our friend.
Only the best for the Emperor.
Our army is on the other side.
Why have I got a kunai? No, that's a very, very bad idea. Ah, great. Animal rights activists are going to be on me now. Why did I have to throw a kunai at Dumbo? Dumbo now rams the winch and takes down a bit of that really effective gate defense mechanism. clearly even a battering ram when I've got through all of those, so I've got to really marvel at that. Of course, with Dumbo on the pitch, we can use our emotes, that is triangle on the PS4, to command the elephant over here to charge. And I definitely don't think I want to be standing in the way, as I call Dumbo. Not even sure if the elephant's called Dumbo, but I'm going to say it's Dumbo, just for the hilarity of the situation. So it does appear that we do have to do our full emote before Dumbo charges us, and of course we're going to make sure we're out of our way, or out of Dumbo's way, before it comes to kill us. Not sure if getting run over even by a wild elephant kills you in this game, but I definitely don't think I want to find out. That was rather cheeky, that enemy trying to almost chop me into little pieces while I'm calling Dumbo over. How do you know I wasn't just going to offer Dumbo a peanut? It's absolutely bad. So we've got one of the gate mechanisms destroyed. We've got the other one then on the right hand side, which after switching places with the big giant wild elephant, never thought I'd be saying that while playing Fauna, it should soon be destroyed now. Maybe? Yeah, there we go. So that is absolutely fantastic. Both those are destroyed, so it does appear that I just need to get the elephant to ram the big giant gate. Take Dumbo over here. Please, Dumbo. Just luckily managed to dodge out of the way of the elephant and call it to the gate, hopefully finish off the objective as we go. Too bad I can't ride it into battle like some strange dynasty warriors. Whoa. Sorry, Daimyo. Someone just took an arrow to the face. That wasn't very nice. But I suppose at least it's better than taking an arrow to the knee. So with Dumbo gone then, we do need to now push them back to the palace. And of course we're going to have a wave of enemies just running at us now. Just going to quickly run past them and destroy the breakables that I saw in the distance. And that should give us number 2 of 5. Of course the next thing I want to do is take care of these archers. Not because they are going to harass me particularly, but because they are going to cause damage to my AI companions and take care of some of our smaller soldiers which help push back the front. Of course the more of those we can keep alive and the more we can harass their guys, the better.
The 10th Emperor.
As you can see there, we've got the observable then again the statues. That's 6 of 9 there. So we're making our way quite nicely and quite quickly through those. By just going down this path we have managed to find then another breakable just hidden away, tucked in the corner, so that is now number 3 of 5. And of course, come on through then, break through the last wall to get the 7th of 9 observables. While I was doing that, my AI companions did manage to push back the front, which has always helped see. And of course now we have to go up there and capture the archer's position, as we've done previously in other parts of this game. Gotta be careful not to stay too still in those red sections, because of course that is where the archers are going to be raining down arrows, and that is where it's going to hurt the most. Really doesn't help when you get stuck between your AI companions and an enemy, knocking down all your health. And of course, if you run up the left hand side as we have done, you will get the 4th of 5 breakables if you have been following this guide, this walkthrough as much as possible. Of course, with the last enemy dead there, we are going to be capturing the zone as quickly as possible. And of course, the passive skill there is helping us regain that lost health that we've got. Make our way straight on in then. We're going to see another statuette straight in front of us, and pretty much just quite a lot of enemy soldiers that are just going to come out of basically the woodwork to attack us. The ambushers, they clearly knew we were coming to defeat their maker, defeat their boss, so we're going to try and get through these as quickly as possible. A little bit of an unfair 2-on-1 fight here, but let's activate that. That's going to keep our stamina and our health up. Activate Revenge as quickly as possible. Normally best to time it when they go to attack you so they do fall on the ground, but with one of those enemies dead, going to quickly sync to the other. And make sure that you're utilizing guard breaks and parries. Don't seem to be doing that much of it in this particular episode, but you never know. Gotta say, I really hate that sort of elbow daze that they do. And it seems like while I was busy dealing with these two enemies, my AI companions did manage to take down their guys. With a sweet execution, that should be the last of the ambushes taken care of.
Execute me! I will be remembered
That was a very good throw.
as the greatest warrior our people have ever seen. These warriors won't follow anyone
I
else.
so wish I could stab him right now.
You will be forgotten. The Emperor's champion will defeat you.
The Emperor's champion is rotting in a cell in the lower city.
Come on, please just pick up the sword so I can kill you. My honor demands it. I look so pleased.
It's you.
Champion.
That's betrayer. Hero, more like.
Oh. Yeah, goaded him into a fight. Now you're armed, now I can attack you. Gotta love how that works. Round 1. Fight!
Seijuro was one of the greatest warriors of our
Hold on.
people.
You're no
He had
Orochi.
been sitting in jail for 3
Orochi even.
years.
Jesus Christ! What the hell kind of attacking is this? So Joe, you're just kicking my butt. Do you even get winded, bro? Your stamina regen's quite impressive, I will admit. Of course, you are utilising the storm rushes. I'm not even too sure if whether to attack or defend or what. This is just absolutely bizarre. Seems to be dodging most of all of my attacks, and of course, even when I activate Revenge, it doesn't knock him on his butt. He just keeps on coming. Luckily, with the Revenge mode activated, though, we did manage to take down quite a lot of Seijuro's health, and luckily we have the healing additional item now, otherwise that would have been a bit awkward. I was hoping to chuck him through the paper wall, but like that, he is down. Now am I going to show mercy, or will he bend the knee?
What are you waiting for?
We need Commander Seijuro.
You dishonor me.
We need you. You are a great warrior.
I won't serve beneath you.
Then slay me. Take my place. Command our armies.
And this is a very risky game I'm playing. This is basically the Japanese version of Russian roulette.
I will not fight the Legion's war for them.
Kill me or stand with us. Remember, there are men under your command, Seijuro. If you kill me, they'll die. And he's decided to bend the knee. Clever man. Shoop. Bowing his head in the act of submissiveness. And his army's ours. Huzzah! But I best to do in combat. Na 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 na.
I'm going to Ashfeld. Our enemy is there.
And that's how we do it. So that is the end of this 4th mission in the Samwise campaign. Of course, if you enjoyed this episode of this walkthrough, please don't hesitate to leave a like, comment, share and subscribe, and stay tuned for the last video, as I said, which will be out on Friday. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, have a lovely day.
Before the Emperor's champion led Ayu's army into Ashfeld, they came here on a scouting mission. They would need to find safe passage for their army to my fortress. But Ashfeld has changed.